Before I get into that, though, I want to point out one thing. My last video, I was talking when I was talking about form, and I talked about tea ceremony, and I said it was chado, which is funny because it's actually sado. It's the same kanji. And in my mind, this is kind of in my mind, I'm picturing the kanji cha and do, and cha is tea and do is road. But in that context, it's the cha becomes sado and all that, which I should have known. Um, I mean, I did know. I actually did know after I shot the video and posted it, and I was thinking about what I was going to talk about next. I was like, wait, did I say chado? I said chado. It's sado. And then I looked it up in my app, and I was like, oh damn, I got it wrong. Sado. But I point that out in part because I made a dumb mistake and I feel bad about it. In the last couple of days, I've been like, damn, I should edit that video and repost it, or whatever. But it's such a small thing. But I pointed out because, and I'm going to talk about Japanese language later on, like as we go along, because I'm not a Japanese teacher, right? I don't teach Japanese language to people, and I would never try to. It's something you have to come to on your own, and I think that generally speaking, and this is just what I'm going to say about it. I'm just going to take 2 minutes out of this and just sort of say it. Generally speaking, I think everybody who lives in Japan has the Japanese that they need. You have the Japanese level that you need, and whether that's a little bit or a lot. And so if you don't have to know everything, and like, I mean, I practiced law in Japanese for whatever it was, 9 years, 10 years, whatever it was, however long it was, in writing and in orally and being in meetings and having to, answer questions about legal issues on the spot in Japanese because nobody around me spoke English. Well, some people did, but they never spoke to me in English. And so the meetings always occurred 100% in Japanese. And if I had to present some concept, I had to do it in Japanese. I had to do it in writing in Japanese, and I had to do it orally in Japanese, and I had to respond to questions in Japanese. And it took me a while to get there. It took me about I'd say maybe half a year, I guess, from the level where I was when I was studying Japanese at a language school, which I talked about in my last video. But anyway, from that level, which is basically say N2 level, from that level. It took me about 6 months to get to where I was, explaining legal issues in Japanese. So, but at the same time, I can't read a menu. I couldn't walk into a restaurant right now and tell you what the menu says because I don't do that. That's not part of my skill set is functional. I mean, I can go to the ward office, to City Hall, or to the tax office, and I can talk to them about my tax problem, my visa, or whatever. I can do all of that off the top of my head. I can go to a store and I can ask questions about the product. Okay, how does this work? How does that work? Maybe not perfect Japanese, right? Like maybe not like using the exact right words, and sometimes the words don't come out exactly how you want them to. But I speak to my wife all day in Japanese. She speaks to me all day in Japanese. And I make mistakes, like every day, and she corrects my Japanese, which is really kind of funny, but you would think would be a good thing, like you think that'd be like a good way to learn. But she corrects my Japanese, but in like the most passive aggressive, annoying way you could possibly imagine. Like it's not like, so I'd say chado, and let's just say, right, we're hanging out and I go, oh, chado, and she'd hear that and it would bother her, right? Like it'd be just like, it's not chado, it's sado, right? And you could see like whenever I make a mistake like that, she just kind of stews in her seat, right? Because like she doesn't it just eats at her, that I've said something wrong, and so. Instead of saying, oh, hey, that's actually sado, like it's cha-sa in this case, not that. She'll wait like 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, like as long as she can possibly sort of hold it down. And then she'll use that word in another sentence that's unrelated to anything we're talking about. Like she'll just say, oh, by the way, I saw this video about sado, and she'll hit that sa, and I'm like, oh, crap, okay, I said cha, it's sa, fine, okay, I made a mistake, and she just goes on, right? But so it's like... Yeah, she corrects my Japanese. But anyway, I point that out simply because, becoming proficient in Japanese is really just about being able to accomplish tasks that you have to accomplish. And my advice to people would be, don't sweat the rest of it. Just accomplish your tasks, and focus on that, and then broaden out the tasks that you want to perform, and then focus on being able to do those things to the best of your ability, whether that's in writing or orally or whatever. But don't sweat it. I make dumb mistakes all the time. So